student loan debt is crippling our country. So many people owe debt through student loans that it's insane. In fact, a lot of the headlines right now are pressuring the president to cancel student loan debt or to continue the pause past the expiration of January 31st, 2022. Now, 44.7 million Americans have outstanding student loan debt totaling over $1.86 trillion. That is insane. And of those 44.7 million borrowers, 42.3 million are holding federal student loan debt. So that's why they're putting pressure on the federal government because the majority of the debt is held through these federal student loans. Now, the average loan or debt for a new graduate is $30,000. That's a lot of money if you think about that. And when I was in college, I was fortunate enough not to take out a loan. And that's not because I grew up wealthy at all. That's because I worked 2 to 3 jobs during my whole college career and made sure to pay everything in full because my goal was not to take out debt. And so this is something that's harder to do nowadays because with inflation rising, and everything being so costly, especially the cost of living, it's extremely hard and most people have to take out loans. Now, in early 2020, when the pandemic hit, President Trump put a pause on repayments, collections, and interest. And that is set to expire, like I said, January 31st of 2022. And so this is causing a lot of people to panic and scramble because their loans, those payments will start going into effect again starting February 1st. And a lot of people have had almost 2 years now of no payments. And I think a lot of people didn't take advantage of that time like they should have. And so people are scrambling and it's causing a lot of chaos and a lot of stress. And so I want to talk about, a few more things about student loans to kind of put some education out there and then kind of what people can do that are going to be taking out loans, already have loans, and they're going to have to start paying February 1st. So there's been a lot of articles that I've been reading where people take out student loans, they pay for years, but yet they owe more than what their original balance was. I mean, how could this be possible, right? There's examples of people making payments for 20 years and still only having their balance go up that they owe. There's an example of a gentleman called Elliot, and he made payments for 7 years, monthly minimum payments, might I stress, of nearly 1,400 a month. That is insane. That's more than a lot of mortgages. But he still owes more than the original uh, loan, despite paying over $90,000 towards the debt at that time. So again, there's example after example of this happening, and it's mainly because people can't afford to pay their debt, so they just don't pay it. Well, what's going to happen? That interest is going to stack up on itself, fees will be involved, and then if you make the minimum payment and get some of these, plans that make it very affordable, you're doing yourself a disjustice because you're not even paying the interest that's required, and so that extra interest that just grows into more interest. So you're basically paying interest on interest, and that's just interesting to me. And so we are going to dive into why this happens. Why do people pay more even though they make these payments for years and years? Well, the one main reason is balances go up when borrowers in financial distress cannot afford to make payments, like we just talked about, right? So they go on this period of not making payments, which is obviously very bad because you get fees, and then your interest just builds up more and more. They also go up when monthly payments and income driven repayment plans are insufficient to cover interest, which is common for low income borrowers, meaning that despite faithfully making payments, their balance goes up instead of down because they're not satisfying that minimum interest balance that they should be paying because they're paying such low amount. So what is causing this? Why are people paying, years and years of their loans, but still owing more than what the original balance was? Well, we're going to go into 4 reasons. Reason one is interest accrues during periods of forbearance, and for some loans, even during in school deferments and post graduation grace periods. So, if you're being pushed into these, just keep this in mind that you will still accrue interest during those periods of pause for these reasons. And as a result, many student loan borrowers enter repayment already owing thousands of dollars more than they originally borrowed. Now, reason number two is certain federal student loan repayment plans do not necessarily result in reducing the balance of the borrower. Graduated repayment plans, especially on longer repayment terms, may only cover ongoing accruing interest during the initial phase of repayment. And so you're really not paying down the interest or the balance, just that accruing interest. It may be years before borrowers start paying off principal. And borrowers on income-driven repayment plans may not have payments that are ever high enough to cover interest accrual, leading to a runaway balance growth for years. So, basically, a lot of people are going to choose those payback terms at the high end, so 30 years instead of maybe 20 or 10 years. The longer you go out, the more that hurts you. Now, if we look at the last two reasons, reason three is outstanding interest can be periodically capitalized or added back onto the principal balance in a variety of circumstances, which has a significant compounding effect. As an investor, compounding is great, right? Our stock grows, we get dividends, we reinvest, that snowball effect just happens. The same can happen on the bad side of things with loans, so you have to be careful to really focus on that interest and what you should be paying to avoid these situations. Now, the other reason is defaulting on student loans can result in massive financial penalties as high as 25% of the overall loan balance in some cases. That's higher than a lot of credit cards. And credit cards are insane. They charge insane interest as it is. So a 25% fee is really, to me, bizarre and crazy and should be looked at because that's really high. So we have people paying interest on interest because they're choosing to not pay or to pay such a small balance it's not covering anything and it's doing harm because they're leaving still a portion of interest each month not paid, and that's going to go on to the next. That's just going to be added on, and interest is going to grow in interest, right? And so these borrowers right now had 2 years basically of this pause. And this to me was a once in a lifetime opportunity to focus on your student loan debt. And a lot of people didn't take advantage of that. I think they saw that payment go away, you know, that monthly payment go away and this extra money now that they had. And they chose that route instead of, hey, I don't have to pay interest. And any money that I put towards my loan is going all to principal. And so I think people got too comfortable with the idea of not having to pay their student loans when they should have been proactive and paid money still during this pause period. And so I have an example of somebody that's very close to me that had a high student loan debt and amount. And when he first got this debt, I sat down with him and I explained to him that you could either choose the 10-year um, loan term or you can choose the 20 or 30-year. But keep in mind, the further you go out, the more you're going to pay in interest. And that's something that everybody has to keep in mind and consider. And I'm telling you that interest adds up to significant amounts, even doubling the amount you owe in the end. And so you need to consider, if you're able to, choose the short term uh, on your debt. And so he chose the short term. Yes, it was a higher monthly payment, but we knew we were saving a lot in the end. And so then, when this pause happened, I said to him, this is an opportunity that you never get with debt, to pay zero interest and it all go towards principal. So we kept the payments going. We talked to the loan place and we said, hey, keep us on the reoccurring payments. It's all going towards principal, so that's awesome. And then any extra money he would get, he would make these big payments towards it every couple months. And lo and behold, he paid off his loans last week. Congratulations to him. That is fantastic. And he doesn't have this high bill anymore. And so that's what taking advantage of this time did for him. He got to pay off his loans. Many people didn't take that avenue and they didn't think ahead, I feel, or they were in circumstances, of course, that they couldn't control, and there's nothing to blame them for that. But it was a time where I think most people should have took advantage of this in one way or another, even if it was a small amount of money going towards it. That's going to save you a lot in interest in the long run. So debt is To me, when I think of debt, that's to me, you're being chained to something, and to break free of that is something that is great, a great, great, great feeling. And so my advice is this was a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's not over yet. Yes, it's almost over. You have a month and a half, but that's a month and a half you get to do something before it ends. Will it be extended? Will student loans be forgiven? I thought much about this, but Congress and you know, the government, they move at a snail's pace, and I would never depend on them. Instead, if something does happen, it might be years down the road, and you're going to be paying years of interest once this, goes off the pause period. And to me, that's not worth it. So I think what you should do is if you're a new borrower, consider the shortest term possible because you're going to save so much money on interest. But make sure you can do that. So look at your expenses, maybe where you can cut expenses so you can focus on putting more money towards those loans because when you get those paid off, it's freedom. Trust me. And you know, um, any extra money you get that you can put towards your loan, do it. If you could pay more a month than your payments, do it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just going to help you pay off your loans faster. Make sure it goes towards principal. And so if you have loans now, you've done nothing and you have a month and a half, same advice. Look at your expenses. Is there anything you can cut out? Are you paying for Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Hulu? You don't need all of that. Cut those out. Put that money towards your loans in this last month and a half. Do anything you can. Do you have savings that you can comfortably take a portion of that and put it towards your loans? This is a month and a half of an opportunity still left. If the pause gets pushed out, then great, continue taking advantage of it. But what you shouldn't do is just say, oh, it's a month and a half away. It's not going to make a difference. No, it will make a difference. Trust me. And so you can also call the place that holds your loans and talk to them if you have any questions, right? Get very educated on what's going to happen when the payments start to occur again. What did the monthly payments stay the same? What's going on? Make sure you're fully prepared. So I'd call them as well. And so take advantage of this last month and a half. If the pause gets extended, then that is just another once in a lifetime opportunity. You need to continue to take advantage of it. And so I made this video because I think, I hope this reaches a lot of people who have student loans to take action now if they haven't already. And if you have, congratulations, good for you. You've saved yourself so much money in the future. And so I really hope that there are some changes with student loans because I think a lot of the stuff is a little ridiculous. And, I also think people need to, be more educated on loans and and that's something that is, I think, hurting us collectively. So yeah, take advantage of this last month and a half, and let's hope for a pause extension for you guys out there so you can continue paying no interest and get that loan paid down drastically or fully like my friend did. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was, educational, and I hope it inspires you to make some moves with your loans. And subscribe to this channel if you get a chance. I put a lot of work and effort into these, and it's free to subscribe. And it's good to get a different perspective always. And so thank you guys so much for your viewership. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time on Mark's Finance and Fitness.